What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode on Green Ninja Overtime, the only podcast in the world with no editing, no BS, all raw footage filmed and uploaded just like that. Welcome back, guys. I'm very excited today to talk about a topic that I'm very passionate about and something I really enjoy actually speaking about. So, I probably get asked this question a lot more than anything, besides like YouTube questions or stuff that you guys have for the channel. I guess this is probably the most asked personal questions that I get. That is, why am I such a Star Wars nerd? Why am I such a big fan of Star Wars? When did it begin? How did it start? Why has it become an addiction? And how am I feeling that addiction? And let me tell you, Star Wars is basically like a way of life. If you ask any Star Wars fan, they would agree with me. It's a way of life. It's a rite of passage, and it can be a very expensive hobby. Oh man, I don't even want to think about the numbers and the amount of money that we Star Wars fans have spent. Oh God, that's not a good thought. It's very expensive, and yeah. So first things first is I'll talk about why I like Star Wars. Star Wars is very diverse. It really they do a great job of immersing you into the experience, like with Disneyland and everything. They do such a good job of role playing that and just making sure you're like included and you feel part of the experience and the attraction. Um, Another thing I love the best is the lore. That is the great thing. A lot you don't see a, a lot of movies out there or series or anything that has such a deep and connected lore. Like, for example, Jurassic Park, their series. That's it. It's just a series. There's not really any lore behind it. Terminator, again, not so much lore behind that as well. The only other, like, series that you see with lore is DC Comics with Batman, the Justice League, and all the heroes, and Marvel, like the Avengers and all that. So these are really the only three like series that actually have a in-depth, detailed lore because they really started from long ago. Star Wars started back around in late 1970s, early 1980s, and back then it started just as a comic. It was just comic books, and it was really not a really outgoing thing. Not a lot of people were popular by it. And then, episode 4 came out, New Hope and all that. It's fantastic. Long story short is I love Star Wars because of the lore. It's so great. It's so detailed. I cannot speak enough good things about the community that we have formed around Star Wars. The Star Wars community is amazing. I've not been more lucky to meet such incredible people. Like with the 501st, the Rebel Legion, all that. I have never met more amazing people there. The same people that are so passionate like me in building props, cosplaying as characters, role playing, making our own armors. It's amazing. And also another thing is Star Wars is what got me doing a lot of things actually. Not only just dressing up, role playing, being a fan of it, reading the books and the lore, watching countless hours of videos, nerding out over it. Not just that, it's made me a fan of just, going to different places. It's made me travel a lot more and like traveling. Because here in my state, we rarely get any like conventions or anything, so I have to go to the next interstate, which is California. I live in Nevada. No, not Las Vegas. Okay? Not everything is Las Vegas. But basically, a lot of things take place in the next state over. So therefore, I do a lot of traveling for Star Wars stuff, and that also made me like traveling. So Star Wars has made a huge impact on my life and made me try out a bunch of different things. I started going to Comic-Con events because of Star Wars, being able to dress up and geek out along with other people that maybe isn't in Star Wars costume, but being able to just role play with them, and it's just amazing just being able to nerd out. I feel in a comfort zone whenever I go to these conventions because I could have easy conversations and I could talk to anyone without feeling nervous at all, and it's just great. So therefore, yeah, it's made me like go to Comic-Con events, and most importantly, the biggest Star Wars events that I look forward to every year. Star Wars Celebration. I cannot speak enough good things about it. It is so amazing. It is a completely different experience being able to meet people from all over the world that are as passionate as you about the same thing. You meet creators, filmmakers, actors, prop makers, a bunch of cool people. Some people that you've probably watched videos online with or spoke to people on forums. You get to meet them finally in person. It's been great. I've been able to meet with so many 501st Legion members just by where I used to be talking with them on forums and just messaging with them saying, hey, can you help me out with my armor, or like what would you suggest I do with this, to being able to talk to them in real life and compare our armors, our tips and tricks, our styles, and it's great. And then being able to meet the actors is just surreal. Even just being able to see them from a distance, it's like a dream come true. Like, those are your heroes up there. Those are the one that's what made this community so loving. It's all because of the filmmakers, and it's just amazing. I love Star Wars, and those are some of the reasons why I do. Now we can talk about, when did I get into Star Wars? I was never a Star Wars fan, okay? I started liking Star Wars, I think, around in 2007, and the earliest memory I remember of Star Wars is actually at Legoland, believe it or not. It's very intricate, the story. First off, I want to tell you that my dad got me into Star Wars, so big shout out to him. Little did he know that a couple years later, his son would be more of a Star Wars fan than he would become, and literally everything revolves around it now. So I got around to liking it in 2007 when I went to Legoland. And in Legoland, of course, there's the Lego stores and everything, and they had Lego Star Wars sets at that time. I specifically remember seeing this set. Hang on, guys. I am going to show you guys. Let's see. We will go to Google. So then, this is the set I saw in the Lego store. Yes, perfect. This is the exact set I remember seeing. This is the first ever set that I saw at the Lego store. And that's when Star Wars first clicked into my mind, and that sort of became a thing. This is it. This is the Star Wars set I saw. This was the 2007 Lego Star Wars multi-troop transport. So the battle droid carrier. First off, years later I end up getting this set. So, all good, right? But this was the first ever set I saw at the Lego store that was a Lego Star Wars product. And that was when I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. My dad even said, you should get it. Star Wars is so cool. But back then, never liked Star Wars. So therefore, I was like, nah, never ended up getting it. And then I remember going home, and then sometime, I don't know the time frame between that Legoland visit and the movies I watched, but I then started watching the movies, all 6 episodes, and then I enjoyed it. I watched the episode through my mom. I remember I was freaked the hell out because it was very graphic, okay? And I was such a little kid, seeing Anakin burn and die. Oh my god, that was horrid. So episode 3 became my least favorite episode just because of how graphic it was. But then I learned to appreciate more and more over the years. So I watched all the movies, and then the Clone Wars movie came out. The first one, which was like an hour long. The movie came out, watched that, and then slowly the Clone Wars seasons started coming out, and I would watch them. They used to come out on StarWars.com every Thursday. So every Thursday I would go on Star Wars website and watch it, because back then the episodes were free. They streamed free, and you just go on their website every Thursday and you would watch it. So every Thursday the new episode for each season came out, and I kept watching and watching it. And it went all the way up until like season 5 or 6. So I never I still got the DVDs and everything, but I always just ended up watching it there, and then it would last for a week until the next episode came out. So therefore, I watched the whole series of the Clone Wars season 1 through 5, and then they released the lost episodes on Netflix, and I watched that for season 6, and then finally this year season 7 came out. I watched that, and it was great. It was heartbreaking, but it was a beautiful ending, I feel like. And, throughout the years, different series came out. I watched, Rebels. I never watched Resistance. I don't know why, but I just don't want to watch it. But I watched Rebels, and then, the movies started coming back out, which I was super excited for. Episode 7, then Rogue One, Episode 8, Episode 9. I love it all. So, therefore, that's what got me into it, and it was all because of a Lego set I saw at, Legoland, and because of my dad's encouragement. So, therefore, that is exactly what got me into Star Wars. Now, in terms of favorites, here, I'm just going to talk about it all at this point. My favorite episode, movie, that people ask me, if we want to talk about the films from the original trilogy, I'll go by trilogy, and then I'll go by favorite movie overall. And for trilogy, there's the original trilogy, which is 4, 5, and 6, the prequel trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, and the sequel trilogy, 7, 8, and 9. So, with the original trilogy, I love Episode 6. Return of the Jedi was amazing. It was phenomenal. I don't know why. I just love that. And then with the prequel trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, Revenge of the Sith is nice, but I don't know. I just love Attack of the Clones just because it's the first time we see the clones in action, and the clones are gotta be my favorite character in Star Wars. There's just so much personality for it. I love the image that they portray of the clones, especially from the Clone Wars TV show. Clones, they all look alike, the same height, same weight, same face. But however, it's amazing the personalities they developed individually, and each one of them are really individuals. So that's what made me like clones so much. They're so unique, even though they all look the same. And I think that's what made a lot of people want to portray and make armor sets of clones and everything, just because of how unique everything is about them. Their paint job, their schemes, from their armors to their weaponry, customizations. The clones are gotta be some of the most diverse characters in Star Wars, and I love it. So therefore, I gotta say Attack of the Clones for the prequel trilogy, because it's the first time they were introduced, and we already see some sort of like customization abilities from them. In the movie, all of them weren't wearing white armor. Some of them had different rankings: the captains, commanders, lieutenants, sergeants, whatever. Right? They were already starting to see some individuality over there, and that just progressed over the years of the Clone Wars. And then finally, we move into the sequel trilogy. And I gotta say, The Rise of Skywalker is the best, hands down. And I'll explain why for each one. So, I'm not a fan of the prequel trilogy, I'm not gonna lie. The prequel trilogy wasn't the best, and even George Lucas admitted it wasn't his best work. But the prequel trilogy wasn't a favorite. The original trilogy was good, because that was when, the first original 3, that was what started Star Wars. They were definitely good. Return of the Jedi was great. I don't know why. Even though people say, like, the Ewoks and everything, I don't know. There's a connection, I feel, to Episode 6. I've watched Episode 6 more times than all other Star Wars movie combined. So, there's that. And then finally, with the sequel trilogy, The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9, I just think that they did a horrible job with Episode 8. As with most Star Wars fans agree, it was horrible. There was barely any action, and I don't know. Episode 8 was just, there was not enough. The only good thing in Episode 8 was the throne room battle between Rey and Kylo versus the Praetorian Guards. That was absolutely great. That was the only reason why the movie was worth watching. Episode 7 was alright. I feel like they did good by, kicking it off the new trilogy with Episode 7, but it wasn't good enough. But I think the ending and everything to Episode 9 was phenomenal. It was great. It was amazing. I loved the humor incorporated in there. And then everybody agrees with me on this point, okay? Palpatine made it so much better, okay? Just hearing him in the trailer, seeing him come back, reincarnated, all his new powers, the Sith Eternal Fleet, and it's mind-blowing. So, therefore, the final battle was amazing, where pretty much the whole galaxy versus the Final Order. And it gave me goosebumps seeing all the ships out of hyperspace. And I love it. Which is why I can't decide. Out of my favorite movie all time, I can't decide whether it be episode 6 or episode 9. Because it's amazing. It's both of them are so good that yeah, I don't know. I've been watching episode 9 a lot now as well, over and over again. It's almost caught up to the time I watched episode 6. So therefore, those are my absolute 2 most favorite movies from the Star Wars series, and it's amazing. Now we can talk about the most interesting fact. Oh man, I feel guilty talking about this. This is a guilty pleasure. That is, how much does a Star Wars hobby cost? This is the most important thing because, as you guys know, I have racks and racks filled with Star Wars helmet. I have 3 sets of Star Wars armor. One is a Clone Trooper, Phase 2. One is a Scout Trooper from Return of the Jedi, movie version. And I currently am printing a Mandalorian set. Not from the TV show Mandalorian, but just a Mandalorian armor from the Clone Wars. So it's a Clone Wars style. So I have 3 sets of armor and just a little over 10 helmets with more on the way. I have another helmet that I ordered coming in, and I'm about to 3D print another helmet, and yeah, helmets are going to keep on coming along. So is armor. So with helmets, most of them are around $100 each. So that's a little over $1,000. Now, I've also have a couple of resin cast helmets. Those were around they can cost between you anywhere from $100 to $500, depending on the accessories added on, or depending how you order them. Usually they come in, you get an option, you get raw, trimmed, and finished kits. Raw kits are literally just taken right out of a resin cast mold, shipped to you. You got to do all the work yourself, trim it, clean it up, sand it, whatever, right? Trim kits, they usually just trim out all the excess resin and also clean out the visor area. That way you could just, sand it, paint it, throw in a visor, it'll be done. And then there's also finished kits, which is completely done. So it's a finished product. That's the most expensive. So I usually buy trim kits because I don't mind working on them myself. It's also given me a great learning experience. So therefore, yeah, helmets can be quite a bit. And then armor. Oh my god, armor. Armor can run you the most money. For a good resin casted kit, there are good sellers from eBay, Etsy, everywhere, right? You could get them in resin casted or very popular now, 3D printed kits, and those cost a lot less. Resin casted kits run you about $1,000, especially from good makers like Imperial Surplus. They cost you about $1,000. I managed to get one off eBay for around $300. And then 3D printed kits can also come for around $300 or $400. So it really depends on the material you want. And again, with the helmet option, you could choose to have it raw, finished, or trimmed kits. And again, finished would be a lot more expensive. So yeah. And then my Scout Trooper armor kit is also resin casted and fiberglass as well. And that ran about another $300. The Mandalorian set, because with 3D printing it's a lot more cheaper, and because I'm able to 3D print myself, it doesn't cost as much. My armor right now, my full set, I'm estimating it'll only probably cost around $100 because I'm able to 3D print myself. I don't have to pay for shipping, labor, and commission fees, taxes, and whatnot. Literally, it's just the printer and the filament. I just gotta buy filament and I can print armor. So I'm able to make $1,000 quality armor kits using only worth of $100 worth of materials, which is nice. Then I got lightsabers. I have a lot of collectible lightsabers. I have 5 lightsabers that are movie accurate, as you can see from there. And I also have my own one that I ordered from Ultra Sabers. They are a lightsaber company that makes high quality lightsabers for dueling. And I kind of chose my own style. Kind of don't like it anymore. I want to upgrade. But each one of those movie accurate lightsabers are from the Star Wars Black series, and they're movie accurate. They're really expensive. The first one that I ever got was Anakin's lightsaber from I believe episode 3. Yeah, Anakin's lightsaber from episode 3, that costed around $200, and the value's only going up at this point, because they're not making any more of those, so therefore, and actually, this is what got everything started for lightsabers. This was the first ever movie accurate lightsaber that they produced, and then they just followed up along the line. So therefore, this is the most expensive one. It's, even though it's only 200, it's going up in value. So this is the most expensive one in the collection. Then I got Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from episode 3 to 4. After that, I got Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from episode 6. I have Darth Vader's lightsaber from episode 4, 5, and 6. That's the movie version, of course. And then I have Kylo Ren's lightsaber from episode 7, 8, and 9, basically. So, yeah. I am missing 2 lightsabers from all the ones I released. There are 2 that I have not been able to find. That is Mace Windu's lightsaber, from episode 3, and Master Yoda's lightsaber as well from episode 3. And those 2 are the hardest to find. But most of them cost around $150. For Kylo Ren's and Anakin's, it was $200. So, yeah. It's expensive. I also have a bunch of statues, and my statues, I don't mean full-fledged statues yet, because your boy's always addicted. I have these nice, I think 1/6 inch scaled statue figures from, I have it from many brands, from Gentle Giant, Hot Toys, from a bunch of manufacturers. Sideshow Collectibles, that's the one that I have the most of. And Sideshow Collectibles makes incredible high quality figures and collectibles, but they're very expensive because it's not a good thought to think about. I have 4 Sideshow Collectible figures right now. Each one of them is running at least $200 minimum. And then I believe one of them is around $250 as well. I have a Shock Trooper, a First Order Heavy Stormtrooper, a First Order Snow Trooper Commander, and then I also have one that's not open yet that I forgot. What did I have it as? Oh, yeah. It's the First Order Flame Trooper. So I have mostly First Order Sideshow Collectible figures. There's one I really want that has been released, and that is the Sideshow Collectibles Commander Cody from episode 3. It is so beautiful. Let me show you guys. Sideshow Collectibles Star Wars. Yeah, they have a lot of clones, by the way. They have like Fives and Rex, Echo, all that, regular clones. A bunch of good stuff. Alright, yes, right there. Oh, they even got their website up on there. Let's check it out. So, basically, yeah, that's the one I want the most right now, and it's so beautiful, but it's so expensive, these figures. I also have a bunch of figures, like, stacked up around my shelves. I have a bunch of Star Wars sets. So, long story short is, if you guys want to ask me how much money I've spent on Star Wars stuff, I probably go to say almost 10 grand. Almost 10 grand, and it's still going up. But I see it as an investment because Star Wars still has new content. That's what I like. It's constantly pumping out new content for the fans and the community. So therefore, all I see is the older stuff like this going up in value. So therefore, if I ever, which I never see myself do, if I ever do lose interest in Star Wars, or if I ever do want to sell some of my stuff, I could make bank off like just lightsabers or helmets or something. So yeah, but as you can see, yeah, they're quite expensive. It's not that big of a figure anyways, but this is the one I want. Oh, it's still on pre-order actually. It's not available yet. So around September to November is when you should get this figure if you get it. But yeah, this is the Sideshow Collectibles Commander Cody from episode 3 for $243. But as you can see, it is so detailed. You can see all the weathering effects on it, all the details on it, all that. It's great. Look, light up hologram projectors. This is what turns me on, guys. This is the stuff that I get aroused by. Star Wars stuff. Yeah, that's right. Look at this 6 scale figure, right? Completely detailed. It's amazing. There's a bunch more too. Look, they make Yoda. They got the Mandalorian, which I didn't even know about, and Baby Yoda, the child. So yeah, that's cool. That's amazing. And this is the stuff that if you want to collect something like Star Wars stuff, these are going to be the stuff that's worth the most money. You know, statues, figures, lightsabers, helmets. These are the stuff, especially if it's movie accurate, or if you know people that have like able to get you like original stuff from film sets. That is the most expensive thing. The original Graflex lightsaber, so the original like lightsaber from Episode 4 that Luke uses, it is worth over, I don't even know how many millions of dollars right now. And what I would give to have a original lightsaber, it would be so cool. But long story short is that the hobby is very expensive. If you guys are really like big Star Wars fans, you guys know it is super expensive, and it is not a cheap hobby at all. It's one of the most expensive hobbies in the world. And yeah, sometimes it hurts, but I could not be more proud of the community and the friends I've made through this hobby, and it's amazing. So yeah, that is my little brief history, behind the scenes life of Clovis, and a little brief overview when I was a small little lad to now this YouTuber man. I don't know, okay guys, I don't know what I'm saying at this point, but that was what made my, eventual growth to liking Star Wars and being a fan of it. So, humble beginnings, right? From just seeing a simple Lego Star Wars set in a Legoland Lego store to now having a room filled with Star Wars items. I love it. I love it. It's such a glow up for that. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this podcast. That's enough backstory and about my life for today. If you guys want to know any more things, be sure to drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click that notification bell so you guys get notified when I post a new episode of the podcast. I still have quite a lot more to film. And don't forget to like it if you like it. Share this video with your friends and family. And if you guys are a Star Wars fan, tell me, how much money have you spent on Star Wars? What do you have in your collection? And whatnot. As always, guys, I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Peace.